Welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham and Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio. This morning, Ole Miss basketball tonight against Mississippi State at the Pavilion. The Rebels winners of 2 in a row after a 2-0 week, beating South Carolina and Florida. Now against the Bulldogs to close this 3-game homestand. We'll talk about that today. A little baseball today. Crazy tweet that Zach sent Neal and myself about the Astros and banging on trash cans. Probably get into that a little this morning. And more coming up here on the podcast. Brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Daiquiris, lunch specials, ribs, great gas prices. It get even better with the Speed Pass Plus out, the mobile rewards program, and more. And next door at the Oxford Crystal, when you leave the game tonight, head on over to the Crystal because your coupon or your ticket becomes a coupon, $150 off a sack full or a steamer pack there with the Oxford Crystal. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900's that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can shop it around, or you can do what I've done, what I think you should do, what I think you'd be happy if you did, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service after the sale. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He'll prove that to you. 662-257-1900. Guests join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Tonight, Ole Miss versus Mississippi State basketball on the big screen following the game. You can come join the biggest party on the square. On Thursday, it's a seltzer party featuring $3 White Claws, Trulies, and Naturals all night. And then on Friday, it's Valentine's Day. It's also the baseball season opener. Rafters opens for lunch at 11 a.m. Specials include frozen strawberry daiquiris garnished with Valentine's sprinkles, fresh strawberries, perfect for your sweetheart. Enjoy a famous Rafters Bloody Mary and the best po' boys on the square served on Leidenheimer New Orleans French bread. The party continues Friday night featuring dueling DJs. And then on Saturday, Rafters opens at 11. Ole Miss Louisville baseball, Ole Miss basketball versus Kentucky and Lexington. You can see all of that on the screens. Drink specials include $3 domestics until 8 p.m. And then Sunday, of course, it's brunch beginning at 10:45 featuring homemade biscuits and chicken and waffles, live bluegrass music by Grassfire, and the party on with the famous $2 mimosas. And then put this on your calendar, February the 25th, Fat Tuesday party, celebrate New Orleans style with DJ Drum, Hurricanes, and daiquiris. All of that at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford.
Think I get a banana daiquiri?
I'm sure you could.
Think so?
Probably.
My favorite. Not even really messing with you either. That's actually legitimately my favorite.
I'm not going to steal it from you, that's for sure.
I can have all of it, can I?
Every
single bit.
Every drop, every banana, all yours.
Really good advice coming from Leah Patterson on the Twitter this morning, on the Twitter machine. She said she bought her husband Rebel Grove subscription for Valentine's Day a couple years ago. It auto-renews, so she never has to buy a Valentine's gift again.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is the gift that keeps on giving at the exact same price. Never goes up, ever.
Nope.
Don't worry about it. It will be there, and it will be the same price no matter what.
Unbelievable.
This is where you really ought to have that. I mean, seriously, like one of those, like 5 families kind of meetings between 24/7 and rivals and go, hey, we're doing it all at the same time. Everybody good here? Everybody, can we just bump, a gallon of milk is going up like 418%, but we stay the same.
When people want to know what kind of influence I have at Rivals.com, the fact that the price has stayed the exact
less than
same
zero, huh?
tells you that I have zero influence at Rivals.com. I've quit going to the conventions because I would raise my hand and say, so we should raise prices and put up a paywall. That's legit. That's all I got. Thanks. None of that happens.
You don't need the 4-hour thing about Twitter anymore. Or
I'm no longer going. You really should get verified. You really should raise prices.
I do think verifying would get us more guests when you respond to them on Twitter.
More guests?
Like when you give, I think it would pop up and give us a better shot.
I don't even know the process to get verified right now. I don't think they're verifying new people.
Yeah, I think there is a block on that for whatever reason. I don't know what to do.
It doesn't matter. When I die, no one's going to go, you know what? He wasn't verified.
Well, no, we'll talk about it every time at your funeral for the 3 or 4 hours that we're doing it.
There will be no funeral.
Well,
that promise has been made. I have now gotten everyone in my life who matters to promise that will not happen. It took Decades, but we got it done.
Took decades. When did you first introduce this to someone in your life?
20 years ago.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How you bring that up? What made it be, hey, I'm just going to remind you now that, hey, this is what I'm curious about. At 27 years old or 29 years old or whatever
I can't remember exactly how it came up, but the whole, what would you want at your funeral? And I said, I don't want a funeral. I don't want a funeral. I don't want a memorial service. I don't want anything. That is my wish. It's in my will, and I've now
cremation.
I want to be cremated, and I don't care what you do with the ashes. Throw them in the nearest dumpster. Just be done with it. No service of any sort.
I'm more playing devil's advocate just to mess with you for a minute.
Because the number of people who would attend a service, who deep down would be so glad that I was dead, but I don't want them there.
You're missing my point. Isn't the purpose of a memorial or funeral more for the people still living who do care about you? Yeah, isn't that? I mean, deep down, isn't that really more what a funeral is about?
I guess. I think it's a lot of expense and unnecessary stuff. People would have to travel and all that stuff. Just you can talk about it via Skype.
Have a teleconference.
Well, I mean, be all right. Having a service where people stand up there and tell lies for an hour.
You don't want to be eulogized.
I do not. I absolutely do not. I have no issue with people who want an elaborate 4-hour funeral or anything in between. I am a live and let live person. More and more as I get older by the day. But I don't want one. I won't be there to know, but that's my wish. So if you ever attend my funeral, you will know that you are attending something that the people that I entrusted with my desires neglected them, defied them. You can sit there knowing that.
Well, I mean, at this point, I feel like I should step in. Go, whoa, 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 whoa. There's been a lot of time with this man. That's not what we're doing.
I don't think it'll be an issue. I think
it's all good.
I think it's all good. I think some people will push back against them a little bit, and I think they'll say this is what he wanted. So now I'm saying it in a very public forum. Completely unnecessary.
Okay. Whatever. Was my train of thought a little bit. What time's the game tonight?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
State favored by 2 on the opening. Is that right? Yeah, I think State was favored by 2 on the opening.
I anticipate a really good game. Ole Miss has played really well 3 games in a row now. State's played really well. State's won on the road. Ole Miss has been very good at home. I anticipate
State's 6-2 in its last 8.
I anticipate a really good basketball game. Curious to see which media from Mississippi State come.
Ooh.
Some
a little different level there.
Some of them can't. They can't come here because they'd get hurt.
So Gene Swindle always says he would get shot at. Right?
Because there's all sorts.
Said he had like bullet holes in his Tahoe and stuff.
Horka will do the video of people leaving
when the game's over.
If the game's over, because let's see, Ole Miss plays at Kentucky Saturday. When do they play at home again?
I don't know. I think they're on the road 2 in a row, maybe.
Let's see. Ole Miss is at Kentucky. Ole Miss does not play at home again until February the 22nd. Today is the 11th. So, I mean, it would stand to reason that people would sit in the pavilion for 11 straight days just waiting on the Alabama game to roll around and not leave.
Well, you could bring some tents, what are the Army little meal things called? What are they?
MREs? Yeah, meals ready to eat?
Yeah. Bring some of those. Bring a tent.
Yep.
They can leave the heat or the air conditioning on in the pavilion if necessary.
They could. No media contingent weirder than that one. Not one. The weirdest.
You do think they're the weirdest?
Absolutely. I'd say it to all of their faces. I'm saying it out loud right now. You people are insane.
Them, A&M.
Yeah, the A&M people are weird with the rings and stuff, and that's bizarre. Yeah, that's nuts. But they're kind of cultish.
Cults aren't weird?
Yeah, but State, I never thought of State as a cult. Like Auburn has a certain cult factor to it, but their media crew is not like that. Their media crew's pretty good. Jay and Jason Caldwell, but 24/7 is really good. Brian Matthews is very good.
That's true. Is it a maroon thing? Is it an ag school thing?
It might
you
be
think
a
there's something about
maroon.
an ag
It might
school
be something
thing?
about the color maroon. I don't know. Eastern Kentucky's maroon. They basically fired their chancellor because he interviewed for another job that was supposed to stay quiet, and it didn't because of certain people.
The committee was all about confidentiality, really.
That committee cost a person his employment.
Yeah.
He's landed on his feet, of course.
It's at Johns Hopkins, right?
Yes. They should be really proud of themselves.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I've already got a compliment by a state reporter this morning.
You did?
Yeah.
For what?
Robbie Falk liked the baseball series thing.
Good.
Robbie's a good dude. Robbie's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't know him. I'm sure he is.
He's fine. No problems at all with Robbie.
They push back on the fandom thing pretty hard. He might not. I don't know. I don't read any of their stuff.
Well, he works with Paul, who, but
they refuse to accept that a reporter can cover a team and not cheer for it. They will not buy that because in large part because it exposes them for being complete and utter sellouts.
I do always get that question a lot from like other schools that if their school they cover's playing state in something, I'll get that DM that goes, "Hey, who should I call over there to do an interview?" And I'm like,
Ain't nobody.
And I'll throw some stuff out and try to be like, "Hey, no, hell no."
No, my answer to that is there is nobody.
No, that's incorrect. ULM's maroon, so he probably has lots.
I have
underwear. Sorry, from the live stream. Maroon.
I don't have any underwear. I have a maroon ULM. It's more of a burgundy than it is maroon.
I guess that's true. I'm staring at the helmet now.
It's really not maroon, but I do have a kind of a burgundy ULM T-shirt with the Warhawk thingy on it.
This is a G-Pits topic. Appreciate it, Webb, so we'll go here. Campbell brings him a Cards fan. Everything else is great. You grin and bear it, but you do wonder about his life choices, right?
Yeah, and I would wonder about her totally defying me because all I've really asked of her is no Cardinals fans.
You haven't actually said that.
Yes, of course I have.
Find a nice boy who's not a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, I said I know
and preferably a Brewers fan.
When she told me she was going up there, I said there's going to be a lot of Cardinals fans up there, and you should parse them out. You should just say nope.
It's kind of playing off another live stream thing here. What would be worse, Cardinals fans or like a boyfriend who every time he like wrote your name, spelled it incorrectly for months and years and whatever, and just refused to spell your name correctly? Wouldn't that drive you insane over time?
Yeah, I guess
NEIL over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about today, guys. I got stuff, but we're just talking.
I sense that's years from now, though. Long time. I don't sense that like Campbell, either one of my girls.
Cupid's arrow might pop tomorrow.
I don't sense that either one of my girls is in any hurry for that at all. Their generation's a little smarter than ours. They didn't all get married at 21. They're going to take their time. I think their generation waits until late 20s, early 30s to marry. Statistics sort of back that up.
Probably a positive for individual growth and development.
Yeah.
Gets into some negatives with kids being older, as you're older, and kind of changes that life cycle a little bit. Because then you take a few years to be married without kids and then on and on and on. I mean,
less window to have kids.
Well, yeah, no doubt about that.
And I think they'll have fewer kids.
I mean, I guess I was 32 when Carly Ann was born. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Matt asked, would Carson be the same way about dating a woman who's a Cards fan?
He might actually have that as a complete and utter hindrance.
I think for him that's a
non-starter.
That's a non-starter. Yeah.
Hold on, you what?
You think I like the Cubs, man? My love for the Cubs does not compare to Carson's. Like he gets mad at me if I'm like that guy sucks.
Oh, does he really?
Oh, if I say like Albert Almora, who's like the one that I'll pick on the most, like man, he is. I do not understand how he's in the major leagues. He'll leave the room.
Gets mad.
mad. Leave the room so he won't say something to me. And you do not, under any circumstances, ever criticize Anthony Rizzo around him.
They are perfect.
Anthony Rizzo could take strike 3 right down the middle, and he would say that was a ball.
That is a good point. Age doesn't matter as much for guys because, I mean, obviously the biological clock's different than a woman and different things. I mean, and there's several elements to that probably are true. But no, I mean, look, getting married later is probably a very smart thing. I don't,
Yeah, I mean, all in all, you don't know who the hell you are at 25.
Well, you change.
Yeah, of
you
course.
adapt. You change as a person. As couples, you change. There's lots of change going on in those different situations. Plus, we know more people. There's a world. There's an internet. I mean, when a lot of people got married at 17 back 80, 90, 100 years ago, well, they lived, there's like 2 houses within 4 miles.
Yeah.
And
and they all died at 40 anyway.
I don't know about that, but Neal's doing like the Oregon Trail. He died of dysentery. Whatever.
Well, that's kind of what happened.
It's not what I'm saying.
I mean, you got married early so you could make a bunch of babies so that they could work on your land. It's true.
Oh, is that what it was? Like
a lot of that.
Indentured servants is what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Tell me another podcast you get this on today. Go from
I
basketball.
watched Little House on the Prairie. This kid's worked.
I'm going to go to basketball and baseball in a minute, but did you watch The Bachelor last night?
Yeah, of course I did. Did you?
It was on for a few minutes. He came back to the Auburn chick last night.
Yeah. Well,
got a one-on-one there.
She very clearly is going to go a long way in this.
I know it's depressing. Neal's talking about people dying at 40, basically never having kids because they get married at like 61. I mean, it's a problem.
I don't make the rules. I just observe. It's my observation.
Bachelor, yeah, I'm out. I'm just messing at this point.
So he's got this one girl, Kelly. Can we talk about it? Screw it. If you don't,
I got 4 minutes to a break. I'm killing time before I go into something else.
Kelly. Yeah, Kelly got arrogant last night, but it was justifiable
who's
arrogance.
Kelly?
She's the attorney that he met before the show started.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
The more you look at her, the more I think she's really attractive. Maybe the most attractive girl there.
Okay.
Very bright, has
right.
a job,
Okay.
has a career, is solid.
Okay.
Is no drama.
Okay.
And he cut her last night. In favor of the drama girl who has basically told him for 2 weeks, I don't want this. I'm going to stay here because I get screen time. I'm going to take the stupid rose, you dumbass, but I'm trying to tell you I don't like you. I'm not marrying you. I'm not having your children, and I'm not probably going to get in the fantasy suite with you. I don't know why you're keeping me here. And he keeps fawning all over. He's horrible.
He might be the worst bachelor of the bunch.
Well, there's no might to it. He is the absolute worst.
They'd have been much better off just bringing the Tyler cat back.
Yeah, oh yeah. Or letting Mike, the guy last year,
Oh yeah.
be it, and then they wouldn't get all the criticism, but you never have a black bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
He was a super sharp guy.
Yeah.
He would have maneuvered this field much better.
Maneuvered this.
This guy's a train wreck.
I'm
Sammy says, doesn't ABC encourage the picks? I do think they encourage a few picks.
sorry. Kelsey's had a nose job.
Yeah, Kelsey's very clearly had a nose job. And Avery brings up a great point. Her nostrils are so small. How the hell does she breathe?
I'm not watching this close enough, obviously. So who's he end up picking? Do we know?
I don't know.
Did they
There's
take
this
anybody?
drama that happens at the end. And he's laying on
Hang on, I listened to spoiler because I don't watch. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
looking up like Reality Steve or anything, but I saw somewhere where there was some website yesterday who suggested he might end up with a producer.
Well, yeah, so that's
Okay.
where I was going.
All right.
So clearly with this
You got about 90 seconds.
okay,
here.
that's
I'm not-
fine. If I go 96, it's going to be all right.
I got a hard break here,
Yeah.
McCready. Okay,
Yeah.
the music's gonna start, and I gotta go.
It's gonna be all right, Isaac. So here's the thing: he's got the Auburn girl, and they've now begun to introduce this storyline.
Okay.
She is a virgin.
Yes.
That is a big deal to her. Her faith is
They
a big
had the
deal
other
to
girls
her.
in the house talking about how she was very religious and needed to
Yes.
tell him and all this stuff.
They
last
began to introduce this storyline. She is going to give him, I think, an ultimatum fantasy suite time when I'm saving myself for marriage. Good for you. It's fine. But if you sleep with these other girls, for me, this is going to be a non-starter.
You think she's going to do that to him?
Essentially.
Okay.
And this guy's so wishy-washy that he's going to, I don't know what to do. And then there's this scene at the end that they've teased throughout
From the very beginning.
From the very first moments of the
before even
of
the
series.
credits.
Yes. Before we ever even heard from Chris Harrison, we had this scene of him laying on what appears to be some sort of a bed, a hammock, or something. And the producer is kind of comforting him because they've given him this horrible news that they just learned right before the final rose proposal. Here's your ring thing. So I don't know.
Randall Boyd in our live stream says that Peter and Julie, the producer, spent New Year's Eve together in New York City.
Well, there you go. Reality Steve, who always crushes this thing. I mean, dude is like 24 for 24. He doesn't miss. He's got the Astros banging the can, and he knows what's coming. He's freely admitted that he does not quite know the end yet. He knows a lot, but he hasn't been able to get us to the end. But last night when he dumped Kelly, I mean, even though I kind of knew it was coming, I was like, dude, you are so, she would have been free space yesterday. When you're trying to cut it down to like 3 or 4, they do the 4 for the hometown. He's got to cut it to 4 to go to their hometowns.
Yeah, I'm aware of this
She was
process.
a walk in the park selection. She's in that field. She might not be the final, but she's a safe space.
And he chopped her.
Instead, he chopped her for like the one who hates him, who is every week going, I can't believe he keeps giving me a rose. When does Bachelor in Paradise begin?
She's been honest with him.
Yeah, she's not marrying him. She has no interest in marrying him. I don't think she has any interest in him at all. She's stunned. She's playing along now. She's saying what you have to say just to stay on the stupid show.
Okay.
I normally love this show, and last night I was like, this is stupid.
We found your point.
Yeah,
Took a while.
I'm approaching the breaking point. They'll have to, and I don't know who the Bachelorette from this will be in the next series. Maybe it's Kelly, and maybe that's why she played it so cool. I don't know, but this is not a strong field.
What?
I don't know.
Fixing in some ways it has all the elements for being Maddie, but you're not gonna have a virgin Bachelorette, unless that's the whole hook of the whole series.
Well, that could be the hook. They typically avoid real faith-based hooks, though, and that would be a very faith-based hook. She's very, very
Yeah,
spiritual.
because Hannah only got into that hook because of the dude, Luke,
Yeah.
or whatever his name was.
Look
Luke?
at you. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Close enough. All right. We will move on in 1 second. First, about Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page. See everything going on in town. Obviously, Ole Miss basketball, 6 o'clock tonight. They've got tomorrow South Talks lecture starting. That's True South, the one with John T. Edge and Wright Thompson, Tupelo Room in the Bernard Observatory from 12 to 1. There's one from 11 to 12 at the Overby Center the next day as well. The Black History Month concert, 7:30 to 9 on the 13th. Ole Miss baseball starts this week, and you got a lot more stuff going on as well. The Meek Auditorium on the 14th is showing Boeing at the Ole Miss Theater and Film Expedition and much more. So see that. You got a lot of stuff going on. The bus tours start back here before long. Those are on Fridays, and you can get them to the podcast sometimes. But, if you get on the bus tour, do the double-decker bus tour, take your receipt over to Blue Delta, $100 off a pair of Blue Delta jeans with the bus tour there with
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Visit Oxford. Yeah, you got that as well. So that, OxfordFoodTours.com. Those are really cool. A lot of people have talked about that. I'm going to try those out here soon as well. And more. Again, visit OxfordMS.com.
Speaking of Blue Delta, our friends at Blue Delta Jeans are excited to announce that beginning this week, pre-orders will be beginning for the return of Duck Canvas. Longtime Blue Delta Jeans clients will remember this durable, long-lasting fabric, and it will be back in stock by popular demand very soon in Canyon Brown, Green, Gray, and Navy. At 10.5 ounces, this Georgia milled fabric will provide you with the ultimate American-made pant that is nearly unbreakable. For more information or to place your order today, visit BlueDeltaJeans.com or reach out to Blue Delta Jeans on social media at Blue Delta Jeans. Also, don't forget that this coming Friday is Valentine's Day. The Oxford studio will be open by appointment only, so call ahead to schedule your fitting time, and Blue Delta Jeans will have the champagne and strawberries ready for you and your loved one on the big day. Rebel fans, renew your football season tickets by March 31st to secure your seat in the vault this season. Tickets start at just $199, can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. Join the men's hoops team back in the pavilion tonight at 6 p.m. as they host the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Limited tickets remain and can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The Ole Miss baseball team kicks off its 2020 campaign at Swayze Field this weekend as they host a 3-game series versus Louisville. General admission tickets are available by visiting OleMissTix.com. Join the Ole Miss women's tennis team on Saturday at 3 p.m. as they take on Samford. As always, admission is free. For more information, you can visit OleMissSports.com. And the Ole Miss women's hoops team is back in the pavilion on Sunday as they host a pink out versus Arkansas at 2 p.m. Tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. We are also brought to you by Dead Soxy, and Dead Soxy, just like you, loves new recruits. They know that once you join the Dead Soxy team, it's over for all the other brands out there. That's why they're giving you an incredible opportunity to make the switch to a better sock life. For Valentine's Day, they are offering 3 select red style socks at the incredibly low price of $5. There's no excuses for not giving them a try. Additionally, for those of you looking to add to your sock wardrobe, Dead Soxy is ordering 3 different style mystery boxes of 10 pairs for just $60. The Rebel Grove promo code will not apply to these special offers, but it can still be redeemed on all other purchases made on the site for 30% off. With their patented technology to prevent that dreaded slippage, it's time you joined the winning team with Dead Soxy. It's time to ask yourself, are you Soxy?
Podcast is brought to you by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting and understands your market. They've got a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and with the rates really good right now. Take advantage of that. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at CommunityMTG.com. We got a thread up on the message board at rebelgrove.com. I expect Mike to release his opening day lineup today. If you guess it completely correct, including the starting pitchers for the weekend, I'll shoot you a prize if you're the first one to make that thread and get it exactly right. So we'll play a little game there, see what it looks like. Sorry, got a little distracted for a second. You can't take my answers, however. So if I'm correct, then nobody wins. And I guess first. So
they have to get the order. They have to get the batting order.
Not
right
the batting
too?
order right, just the defensive positions. DH, and then the 3 weekend starters. First one to hit it correctly. I guess it is kind of unfair because if I get it right, then nobody wins. But I didn't really think about it that way. But
yeah,
which is kind of unfair, isn't it?
You should make them get the batting order because you didn't do a batting order.
No, I didn't do a batting order. I said strictly defensive.
Make them get a batting order.
Okay, we can do that. We can change it around. So yeah, that's at rebelgrove.com. Continued the letter series today. Derek Diamond's mother, Nancy, with her letter to Derek this morning. He is in the running for a Sunday starter position. Like I said, I think it's he or Wes Burton. We'll see which one happens. Actually, I think Wes is letter today as well. Derek, as you recall, was the player who was committed to Stanford for over a year. He got a call one day, told that he was not admitted into the university, so had to start all over. He then had a final 4 or 5 of Ole Miss, LSU, Virginia, and TCU for sure. There may have been a 5th in there. It may have just been those 4. Came down to Ole Miss or LSU. He was ranked as highly as number 19th nationally in his class, and he has obviously chosen Ole Miss because he's here, and he will probably throw at some point this weekend. So that is up on the site at rebelgrove.com.
What's the weather for the weekend?
Friday's okay. Saturday's cold, but Sunday is the one where I'd be a little worried. Mike's not big on doubleheaders, obviously.
Got
We'll
rain
see what
coming
happens.
Sunday?
Yeah, it looked like rain Sunday last I checked. I haven't looked here in the last few minutes, but that's the last I saw on that. I don't think we're going to get that opening week reprieve we usually do. Usually the first weekend's pretty nice, and then it sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's going to kind of suck from the beginning this time. So the start times may help a little bit. It's 4, 1:30, and noon. I'm assuming Louisville's got to get back home on Sunday.
I would think
2 midweek games in the first week. That's kind of atypical too.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. Some of that is you get them out of the way, so you're not taxing your pitching as much later in the year when league play gets here. Go ahead and play more midweeks early. Stack the schedule a little bit.
Let those guys pitch when it's about 22 degrees and it hurts to.
Well, that too.
The ball hits the metal bat and you're like, oh my God, your hands ring for about 4 innings.
What kind of crowd do you expect tonight?
Packed. Rowdy, full.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Because of the wins? How much does that help? Had they gone 1-1 or 0-2, what's the crowd?
Less than this. I think tonight's they're kind of the fans try to will them back into this thing. I think tonight's got a great atmosphere. And if they win, then they get a shot on Saturday, as crazy as it sounds, to get back into this thing.
At Rupp.
Yeah. Well, when you dig
beggars and choosers, right?
When you dig a hole, there's only one way out. If you told me that they beat State and then went to Kentucky and won, now, am I predicting that? I am not. But if you told me that happened, I'd tell you that Monday we're having a conversation about what do they have to do. They'd be 5-7 with 6 games left.
Mm-hmm.
2 against Missouri, 1 against Vanderbilt. Alabama at home, they'd have a chance. Even if they lost at Auburn, they'd have a chance to get back into the conversation. But the reality is, for this team to get back in, it has to win out at home. It's got to beat Missouri. It's got to beat Vandy. It's got to do all that stuff. And it's either got to win at Rupp or at Auburn. Period. And, I can almost hear somebody out there saying it, and it's true. Ole Miss always plays Auburn really well.
They do.
They play Bruce Pearl's teams really well.
That last one's the one that's just the kick in the teeth.
At State. Yeah. Well, frankly, it's going to be a game they have to win.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant losing that game to Auburn earlier.
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah, there's 4 kicks in the teeth. And it's led to missing teeth.
It sent the season from terrible to frustrating. Now it's just frustrating. You don't suck. It's fine.
No. They don't suck at all.
No, that's my point. Yeah, it's frustrating.
They're the best 3-7 team in the history of the SEC, but that doesn't do you any good. You're still 3-7. Kermit talked about that the other day. He goes, we don't look like a 3-7 team. We don't think of ourselves as a 3-7 team, but we're a 3-7 team. And there's only one way out of that for the people that go, what do they have to do to get to the tournament? There are people on the beat. I don't think they'll mind me saying this. We were having this conversation the other day as it became obvious that they were going to win against Florida. It was me and Nick Suss and Nathaniel Gabler, 2 young guys that are really good, who are both kind of analytical nerds, and I mean that in a kind way. And Nathaniel believes 9-9 in the league gets them in. I don't.
I think it's 10-8.
I think they got to get to 10-8, and even then they might need to win one in Nashville. Because the problem this year is that they do have a bad loss. Remember last year there was no bad loss. This year A&M's a bad loss. A&M, I threw it away. A&M's like 140-something or 130-something in the net. It's a bad loss. They don't have a ton of great wins. They've started putting some wins together, but they need some big wins on their resume. Mississippi State would be a good win tonight. I was corrected. It would not be a Tier 1. It would be a Tier 2. But it would be a good win. A win at Rupp or Auburn would be a Tier 1 win. A win at Mississippi State to end the season on senior night, which is a hell of a difficult assignment, would be a Tier 1 win.
Of course.
They've got opportunities left, but, man, they got to run. They got to come so close to running the table. But tonight's a big game, and if they win it tonight, they would go to Kentucky with a load of confidence and two senior guards. I mean, a senior guard and a junior guard who are playing really well, and who knows?
Stumbled across this yesterday. What the NCAA spent, what some conferences spent on attorneys' fees and lobbyists to block the likeness image thing from coming into from fruition. The NCAA spent almost $700,000 last year to try to block it, to try to keep it from going into effect. And then, if to me, this is a bigger deal. And I guess it's not a ton of money, but conferences being pointed out that they were blocking it. When you would think conferences would be a little more toward pro athlete, I think that could have a bigger actual tangible effect here, especially the ACC. They spent a little over $200,000 trying to block it last year. The Big 12, somewhere around $90,000, something like that. So we're talking about basically $1 million for bureaucrats to. It's not listed, so okay. I'm assuming very little, if anything. I'll search it in a second to make sure I'm right, but I don't think they are listed in any way. What do you kind of make of that? What do you take from it?
Oh, I think more of the SEC schools are probably generally in favor of it. It's a headache, but they want to see the kids get paid. They know what kind of money. They know the storyline that's coming. This new TV contract that's coming out, the right broadcast contract that's going to come out in a couple of years is going to be outlandish with the money. And the people who are going to make the argument. So wait a minute, you got an extra $50 million or whatnot per school, and you don't have a dime for the kids? Come on, it's pretty compelling to your average American. Whether you're for it or against it, you can look at the argument and go, well, it is a pretty good argument. So I think they certainly don't want to be seen as fighting it. I wouldn't think.
They're definitely seen as fighting it.
I mean, the SEC wouldn't, is my point.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just being in general.
Yeah. Well, the Pac-12's got issues. Pac-12 has real issues.
You can't find anywhere near the money of everybody else.
No.
Just getting left.
Well, and
it's starting to become the Power Four.
And football is dying in that part of the country. They're having a hard time finding the athletes to play, too. The youth participation in states like California is just falling off a cliff. Yeah, it's about to be the Power Four. No question. I think 20 years from now, the Pac-12 is not going to be a power conference athletically. I do. Especially in football, where you have to have so many players. Doors Rule brings up a totally different thing. He says, thought it was interesting. One of the schools up north, it's Maryland or Rutgers or something, having an open locker room to the media.
It's Boston College.
Is it Boston College?
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Well, are you training players for the NFL? What is your objective? Not the BS objective about whatever. What is truly your objective when you're out recruiting kids? Is it we're getting you ready for the NFL when you go out and recruit the 4- and 5-star player? In the NFL, the locker room's going to be open.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it that way. What positives, what are there for this?
For the kids?
Yeah, in general. What are the positives to the locker room being open?
Fans get to know the players better.
Because you're not crowded around one dude. You can go move around, do whatever you want.
Yeah. From a media standpoint, it's much more pleasing. You're accountable for what you write. If a player doesn't like you, he can say, I don't want to talk to you. It allows you as a journalist to let the people who are subscribing to your publication, your service, whatever, to get to know the players you cover. I think it takes away a lot of the animosity lets people do their jobs. The way that the media relations works now at Ole Miss and at most programs like Ole Miss is awful. It's awful. It's no one wants to hear media complain, and I have, you know this. You and I have been doing this together for 11 years. I do not complain about access. Now, I can comment on it. I've never complained. I will never call Kyle Campbell or someone over there and go, hey, there's no access for us. This sucks. And there are people that do it, and I don't. But I don't think it's complaining to say that the current setup, and I'm not really referring to not being able to talk to coaches. I'm just kind of, the current setup is ridiculous. We have no idea what spring's going to look like. No clue. If it looks like what's happening at Georgia, it's going to be very limited anything. I mean, you were telling me yesterday that it was on our pubs board, which I don't go to as much as you do probably, that at Georgia, the Georgia coaches have gone from encouraging their players not to talk to media to encouraging their recruits not to talk to media.
Yeah, the example given was that, say a kid signs with Georgia, say he's a June enrollee, and during that spring he's playing track or he's running track or whatever, and he wins the state championship. Georgia has told those athletes and those athletes' parents not even to speak to the media about the event that they are participating in at the time, even if it's not Georgia football related. That essentially they have asked them to cut off all media contact, period.
And told parents not to talk too.
That is my interpretation.
Well, good thing for you, Mike Bianco didn't tell parents not to talk.
I'd have a problem right now.
You'd have some issues.
I mean, might not have known it ahead of time. I might get a hammer thrown down on me today, but I don't think so. I think we're probably okay.
No, but it's good. It's that series is letting people get to know these kids in a different way. It's a reminder that, hey, when you're yelling at number 7 or 12 or I don't know the numbers,
he's a human.
And not only that, he has parents who are probably in the stands dying over every pitch, more than you're dying over every pitch.
That has been the common occurrence. Is, hey, what are you doing in the game? Pace. Freak out, walk back and forth.
Of course.
Can't sit still.
Because he's not number 7 or 12 or 13 or 17 or whatever number it is. He's their kid.
Yeah.
We don't get to tell those stories. I mean, the best story we had last year was your story on Keyshawn Wells, and it only got to us because a friend said, hey, did you know about this?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The schools, Ole Miss included, have become competitors. And the problem when you become a competitor is that the relationship can very easily become adversarial.
That has really changed over the last 10 years. I can't – you don't get the, hey, did you know about this much anymore?
No.
It used to be a thing. Hey, just heads up. This is going on. This is kind of whatever.
And he was a senior. And the truth is, if that family friend doesn't tell you, in this case, you didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's not a knock on you or me. No one knew the story.
It's also more likely that you get him because he's a walk-on, let's be honest.
Yeah. But my point is if a person doesn't tell you that, not only we never tell that story never gets told. Think of how many stories are out there on a roster, take Ole Miss or anybody else, that aren't getting told. That when the fans are in the stands, that those are stories they'd want to know. It's why is The Athletic done so well in pro sports coverage?
Yeah.
They've been allowed to do deeper dives. They've been allowed to tell stories about people that I didn't know. I feel like I know the Cubs, and I'm a pretty diehard fan, much better now than I knew before. They produce really compelling content that has changed the way that I watch sports that I watch. I think that's what's gotten. I don't even understand it at the college level. This isn't a complaint. I don't get it. Because the concern, I suppose, is that reporters will come into the locker room or whatever and say, so is it true that school X paid you X to come here? Truth is, no reporter's asking that.
It was like Tunzel. Nobody was asking that question.
The only reporters that might come in and do that would be a national reporter. And yet, boy, when the national reporters show up, it's like, yeah, here, open, a la carte. Have at it. Open house. Get what you want. It's just a fascinating dynamic, really, because if you're a local guy on a beat, you're accountable because you're there every day. They don't like something you write, it's pretty easy to find you.
Well, and you're doing the cost-benefit analysis, too. Hey, I've got a lot of access here. I need to write this, and this later, so am I really doing this right now?
Right.
And what am I getting out of that when I do it? Even more so.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's like people last year would say, when are you going to write the scorched earth, this is over column? I don't know. I mean, not before I'm willing to run the risk of, hey, I write this, and 3 years later they're winning, and I'm the ass that wrote that.
Well, you know how this stuff works. There's ebb and flows to it. Coach is going to get pissed at you for a little while, and then he gets over it, and then you're fine for a little. It just it's the way it works.
It is fascinating, though. I mean, but it's become the thing. Hey, one voice. A lot of it, I think, is the Saban factor.
But it's football. It's just football.
It's just football.
I guess some places it's probably basketball. But it's just football.
Yeah, we generally get who we want in basketball. That's not an open locker room, and we don't have a la carte. I mean, a free reign to go get who we want. But you can make the request ahead of time and do it.
Well, and it's why we've said it in a very positive way over the years for Mike. Is that it's nothing against Alex; those guys do a fine job or whatever. But it's a tone set by Mike that we're hardly ever told no. You want him to go, have at it. It is open.
And in fairness to Mike, and in support of Mike on this, when those guys get to minor leagues, or ultimately, if good Lord willing, and all things work out, they get to the bigs, the locker room's open, bud.
That's what I'm saying. Every signee that leaves Ole Miss and plays professional baseball is going to be used to scrums and questions and features and stuff. Completely comfortable with media just walking around talking to you.
I don't know the exact rules. But at a major league clubhouse, it's like 3 hours before the game, the locker room is open for about an hour and a half. And then 10 minutes after the game, the locker room is open. Reporters are absolutely allowed in. With the only exceptions that are approved are if a player dies. There are occasions when they will close a locker room. Mm-hmm. There might be a meeting after a game where the locker room is closed until that meeting's over. But when that meeting's over, the reporters are coming in and they're asking, hey, what was that about? Mm-hmm. And it can get contentious over 162 games.
Close quarters and little
someone that guy wrote something that I didn't like, and here he is. That happens in the minor leagues, too. Those locker rooms are open. I mean, there's very rarely a report. But I used to cover Bay Bear stuff. And that locker room was open 10 minutes after the game. I'd go in and talk to the manager, and then I'd go talk to a couple of players in the locker room while they got dressed and ate and whatnot. And, they couldn't throw me out.
So I'm trying to think. I mean, this is my 14th or 15th season covering them. And I guess there are some days where maybe a guy's injured and you got to wait a couple days or something because they just let's get an answer and then we'll do it,
sure,
which is fine. And otherwise, I don't think there has been a straight no at any point that I can recall. A couple times, like season-ending stuff, they haven't brought the guys we've asked for to press conferences because they've been incredibly emotional and have chosen not to do it. But otherwise, I think everything's been a yes.
Yeah.
I can remember the end of the 16? Yeah, the end of the 16 season when they lost to Tulane that day. We asked for Colby Bortles after the game, and Errol Robinson came instead. But that's really the only time I can think of anything in my head. But
in football, where it gets interesting is it works at Alabama because they win. Now, they get lots of player availability at Alabama. Lots. It works at Georgia right now because they win. That deal sounds like it's getting kind of contentious and adversarial. And if he ever starts losing or things spiral around his program, I don't know that he's going to have the local guy to support.
Yeah, I know.
And that's not – people say, well, that's not professional.
Human.
It's human.
Yeah, it's human. Podcast brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M. Tyson Drugs on the Square in Holly Springs. G&M right there on South Lamar in Oxford. 662-236-2222. The flu is still going around. You can still get the flu shot if you have put that off to this point. $0 copay on most insurance plans. Not to wait in line or anything. They'll take care of you as quickly and painlessly as possible. They offer to also deliver local in the Oxford area to your home or workplace. Offer MedSync to fill your prescriptions the same day every single month. And they have Right Way Meds to individually package your medication. So really a do-it-all pharmacy there on South Lamar in Oxford. Again, 662-236-2222.
Southern Craft Stove and Tap has your pregame and pre-concert needs covered. So whether you're headed to Oxford for Ole Miss's SEC basketball slate, baseball slate, or to Tupelo for one of the many events at Bancorp South Arena, make sure you get your event started off right with a visit to Southern Craft, conveniently located off Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue in Oxford and at 205 East Troy Street in Tupelo. Southern Craft has all your Southern favorites ready to serve your hunger needs. Drop in, enjoy a curated cocktail or one of their many craft beers on tap, and don't forget about their catering. From private events to catering in for your staff at work, Southern Craft has your catering needs covered with a meal everyone is sure to love. Make your day crafty at Southern Craft Stove and Tap. Podcast also brought to you by Nest and Wild. Sleep better with a Nest and Wild mattress. Nest and Wild is a Mississippi-based mattress company making a high-quality mattress delivered right to your door. They make buying a new mattress easy. Every Nest and Wild mattress is 1 foot thick, giving you comfort and support that will last. A lot of online brands sell an 8-inch or 10-inch mattress with less support and durability, but not Nest and Wild. From the twin size to the California King, every Nest and Wild mattress is 1 foot thick, 100% American made. And when you add in the podcast discount, it's an incredible value. You also fight cancer in your sleep with Nest and Wild, as they've partnered with former Major League pitcher Jason Mott and his foundation in the fight against cancer. They donate a portion of every mattress portion back to Jason's charity. So go to nestandwild.com, order your mattress, use the podcast code REBEL20, and get 20% off your purchase, and your mattress will arrive at your door in 3 to 5 days. We'll have a Mind on My Money up tomorrow. Those are brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust also home to the Pinnacle Trust 401k advisory services team. If your 401k, your company 401k is not performing the way that you think it should, give them a call today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fee. I'll also have a mailbag up tomorrow. It's brought to you by the Westin Jackson. You can restore serenity to your soul at Soul Spa there inside the Westin Jackson, and then head over to Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. Creative craft cocktails, curated wine list, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch, all at Estelle. It's all fantastic there in the Westin Jackson. It's a Marriott property in downtown Jackson.
Podcast also brought to you by In-House Interior and Design. I've been telling you they take care of every aspect of the home design for you. And they're also offering a couple different promotions, including big discounts on dorm room design. You can take advantage of those and get a big percentage off with them. 662-681-6241. Also, 20% off to anyone who call and secure services, including commission or one-of-a-kind artwork, design services, furniture, new light fixtures, lamps, rugs, remodeling. Basically, ways to put equity into your home cheaper than you could buy some of that expensive jewelry and different things that you might do as well. And just want to let you know there's a client gift that comes with that. It gives you something substantial and tangible on the day that you order it as a gift. So again, 662-681-6241. They are booth 34 in Sugar Magnolia, and also on Main Street in Tupelo. Seeing where Ross Dellinger has jumped on the Arch Manning coverage.
Oh, yeah?
Sports Illustrated 58 minutes ago. All eyes on Arch Manning to extend family's quarterback dynasty. Arch Manning is the 15-year-old nephew of Peyton and Eli and may well surpass his passing for Bears.
Oh.
Nothing like a little pressure on the 15-year-old. Hey, they got two Hall of Fame uncles. See what you can do, kid.
I saw the Better Than Peyton stuff starting last week. I was like, whoa. Boy, that's pressure. I know everybody goes, well, he can handle it. Okay, fair enough, but it doesn't make it right. That's a lot to put on a 15-year-old. That is a lot to put. I mean, I have a 16-year-old in my house. I cannot imagine putting that type of pressure on her. Hey, you got to be.
Well, because you
got to be better than one of the very best to ever do it.
The only thing you're kind of used to is these stories coming out.
Yeah.
That's what you're used to.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of it.
But, hey, the expectation, son, is for you to be better than your Uncle Peyton, who's one of the top 3 players to ever play the position. First ballot Hall of Famer. Multi-time MVP. Won 2 Super Bowls. Played in another.
Yeah.
But
really, just try your best.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Have fun. Make sure you have fun out there. It's just a lot to throw at a kid. His recruiting's going to be insane.
I think his classmates heckle him with it every day.
I would think his closest friends probably have a sense of it and know how to do it in a way that's pretty funny.
In the right way.
I don't know.
It's a lot of pressure.
Let's be real here.
This is 2020 or whatever his year is. 2022, 3?
2023.
Is it 3?
He's 2 years older than Carson. And Carson's 2025, so he's 2023. I'm almost positive.
Okay, sure.
He's a 9th grader, right?
Yes.
Carson's a 7th grader, so yes, 2023. Because Caroline's a junior and hers is 2021, so yes, 2023.
As a 15-year-old freshman, he threw for 34 touchdowns in the regular season, more than any quarterback in the football hub that is the New Orleans metro area.
Oh, he appears to be very, very good. His film is exceptional.
He's 6'2", 170 at this point. He's in the 2023 class.
As a 15-year-old.
He has 0 scholarship offers. His family has declined them.
Well, yeah. That's different.
I'm just reading from the story.
His family's saying, we're not doing that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
now,
assuming.
the benefit,
again, I haven't read the story.
The benefit for him is that his father went through the recruiting process, and his father is brothers with 2 people who very much went through the recruiting process, including the aforementioned Uncle Peyton, who experienced something that neither Cooper nor Eli fully experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton's recruitment was more of a national story.
Pre-internet, too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
completely different animal.
He's not going to be able to conduct 1,000 interviews. He's going to have to. It's where they're gonna without wanting. They're humble. They're not going to want him to look like he's doing whatever. But they would be better off having a teleconference once every 3 months, or committing to a school very early, getting it done.
You write what you have ability to write, so this is not a negative whatsoever. But for Ross's first gig to be a national job like this is Sports Illustrated and have so many freaking Louisiana stories over the last year, huge benefit.
Benefit and a curse.
Because, I mean, he frankly has just stayed in Louisiana for the most part of this thing.
It's probably frustrated him a little bit, I'm guessing.
So much LSU. Frankly, Lane Kiffin, Mike Leach.
Well, you get thrown into that, hey, you're going to be our SEC West guy. And I'm sure there's a part of Ross that goes, yeah, but I want to do some national stuff.
In a lot of ways, he's writing the same stories he's been writing.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff he would have written for the Advocate or the Times or whoever he worked for.
Of course. And he's excellent.
Yeah, he's good.
But he probably is probably part of him that goes, hey, I don't want to be on the Arch Manning beat for 3 years.
And he's probably on the Arch Manning beat.
To some degree.
Whenever something is relevant. I mean,
yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't think they're going to go, hey, why don't you go follow him around for a little while, but. So you made the broom stand up last night?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Get excited about that?
We were laughing about it. It was fun. I didn't know that a room could stand up.
How long did it take?
It didn't.
Just
yeah, one of Laura's friends sent her a thing, said something about NASA or whatnot. So
about NASA?
It was NASA had supposedly put something out that the way that the moon and the earth were aligned, that a broom would stand on its own. And so I got it to stand, and then we started having fun with it.
You don't have any real data on why?
No, that's the Wendy's. I went to ULM. Come on.
You're not going to work for the space station anytime soon?
Probably not. And all the people that like it stands up every day. That's the first I heard of it.
So, you read more of the story than I did. Detail what that thing said about the Astros this morning.
Okay. Let me find it.
Okay.
Pretty interesting stuff. Baseball's got to address this stuff, man. It really does. I'm telling you, baseball has to address this stuff. So this is a thread that started with a guy named Tony Adams. Tony Adams is based in Houston, Texas. I don't know what he does for a living. He has 3,600 Twitter followers. I'm sure that number will go up as the day goes on. He went through all of their games in 2017. Okay? You read all the data at signstealingscandal.com. Signstealingscandal.com.
Okay.
He pulls up all the trash can bangs by players. By player.
So he has a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah. Bangs versus the number of pitches. For example, Jose Altuve's trash can bangs, he had 24 bangs on 866 pitches, so 2.8%. Other players had more. George Springer was 14.9. Alex Bregman, 16.6. Carlos Correa, 16.3. Marwin Gonzalez, 18.9. Yuli Gurriel, 17.9. Jake Marisnick, 22.8. Now, keep in mind, they only banged on an off-speed pitch.
Fastball's silent.
Fastball was silent. So if you saw 886 pitches, for example, how many would you guess were fastballs? At least half.
Yeah, good. A lot. 550-ish at least.
Okay, let's take a number. Let's call it 500.
Sure.
Okay, so let's use one of the big ones. Let's use Bregman. So he had 133 bangs on 800 pitches, and then on another 500 pitches, he knew it was a fastball because there was no bang. So in other words, on 630 some odd pitches of 800 pitches that season, Alex Bregman knew what was coming. You
helps.
cover college baseball. If you tell a college hitter, pick a college hitter on the Ole Miss team.
Tyler Keenan.
Okay. If I tell Tyler Keenan, hey, bud, 80% of the time this year, you're going to know precisely what's coming each pitch. How's that going to impact his numbers, Chase?
Oh, it's gonna increase everything by a substantial margin.
He's a college hitter, Chase.
Yeah, he's going to. I mean, in all seriousness,
No, I know.
I'm being
totally serious.
Instead of hitting 335, he's going to hit 405.
Okay, and he's a college hitter. Nothing against Tyler Keenan or Tyler Keenan's family. I'm sure they're all wonderful people, but it's not a guarantee, right, that Tyler Keenan's going to hit in the major leagues. Am I right?
No.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I hope he does. Good for him.
He's really good, but yeah,
Okay.
he's at the college level.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's a college hitter.
He's not Pedro Alvarez.
He's a college hitter.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? So you let me put someone like Bregman, who's a freaking MVP.
Yeah.
Okay? Bregman, I think Tyler Keenan probably would admit, yeah, he's a better natural hitter than I am.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Sure.
Now he knows what the hell's coming. Chase, there are documented what am I looking for the word? Discussions of guys who got shelled by the Astros, sent back down, and never came back up. This impacted careers. This impacted people's livelihood. And now they're admitting they did it on the road. They did it in the postseason. Here's what's fascinating in this thread. Let me find it. I'm really worked up about this.
Go ahead.
I think baseball is missing something here. And this is, to me, it's a bigger scandal than Pete Rose. It's a bigger scandal than even
it's a bigger thing than Rose. How about that?
Bigger scandal than the Black Sox scandal. This is big. And Major League Baseball has, because they don't want to deal with it, has just sort of glossed over it. They made a couple of scapegoats out of it. No player has been punished yet. And no Astros player has kind of owned it. On 9/21, on September 22nd of that year, the banging activity went away because the night before, if you remember, Danny Farquhar, the White Sox pitcher, picked up on it.
Yeah.
Called his catcher out, and he goes, hey,
something's up. Yeah.
I hear the bangs.
Yeah.
Covered his mouth. But what he was very clearly saying is they know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point forward, the Astros freaked out. There's now video of the Astros freaking out in the dugout as they realize that the White Sox are on to them. And they go into the tunnel and they take it down and they tear everything off and all that stuff. And it stops for a while. Then it resumed. It picks back up. I didn't used to feel this way, but I absolutely believe this now. The Astros should be stripped of their title. The Astros should be stripped of the 2017 World Series championship. The damage that was done is irreparable at this point. But they should not be allowed to hang those banners, put that in their record books. And I'm normally not one for vacating stuff. I think it should absolutely be vacated. And then I think Major League Baseball should do a very deep dive into the Red Sox and figure out whether that one needs to be vacated as well. And we should all, even you Braves fans out there, have a little soft spot for the Washington Nationals. Because had the Nationals lost the World Series to the Astros this past season, I think the game would be in total chaos today.
So what's your guess on what's happened to Manfred over time here?
Well, he's protecting the owners because that's who pays his salary. If you've got young people in the car for a minute, just hit the fast forward button twice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Manfred needs to show some balls right now. Otherwise, he has no credibility in the game. See, I can't stand this. I can't. Like Patrick W. in the thread is everyone cheats. All right, Patrick, is there evidence that everyone cheats electronically to this level? Because if everyone cheats to this level, then the game has no credibility. And once the game loses credibility, people stop watching it. I'm amazed at people that excuse it. Blows me away. Oh, well, everybody does it. So that makes it right? The Dodgers were not doing it. That's what's interesting. The Dodgers weren't doing it. And this isn't steroids, where guys did stuff to their individual body. And if you got caught, you got suspended. This is systematic cheating from the top down. This went to the very top of the Astros organization. Everyone knew it.
More and more comes out, more and more happens. Players going to end up being suspended or no? Is it over?
It's not over because I think here's what's coming is spring training is about to start.
Of course.
And all these guys are reporting to Florida and to Arizona, and a lot of these guys, even though there's a mandate to, hey, shut up, a lot of players are not going to shut up.
Right. No, you're going to get just trickle.
I mean.
And then maybe actually a gush at some point.
If you're a Dodger that played on those teams.
Yeah, why would you?
So I could be a 2-time champion?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the difference in marketability if I'm a champion? Yu Darvish is going to be asked about this when he shows up at Cubs camp. And he's been affable and stuff, but he's also a very thoughtful guy, and he's going to say, yeah, of course. I mean, of course I wonder.
Yeah.
What would that game have been like? It damn near ruined his career.
Mm-hmm.
Did they know what was coming? Because an Astros team that had not hit him before shelled him in games 3 and 7.
Yeah.
There are guys that are suing. There's a player that I just mentioned a minute that filed a lawsuit yesterday for $31 million in damages. The whole everyone does it. Listen, I know some people in Major League Baseball. That's not what I'm told. I've talked to people in Major League Baseball who do not believe that everyone does it. We're not talking about the hitter out at second base reading the catcher's sign and tugging on his pants or something to let the hitter know what's coming. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. Ole Miss does that. LSU does that. That's part of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Oxford High School does that.
Yeah.
You read in, you see the sign. Hey, it's fastball. Totally different creature.
Eric asking straight, I think this is all a problem in college. No. Plus, frankly, college is ahead of the curve. They've got the walkie-talkies now.
Yeah.
Everything goes straight. And
yeah.
There's an element out of the college game that the pros aren't using.
Yeah.
Now, you still go catcher-pitcher, but Mike's talking to the catcher.
But to answer your question, does Ole Miss have a camera in center field hardwired in
No.
and people in the tunnel between the locker room and the dugout that are reading the information and passing it along in real time to the hitter? No, they don't.
No.
The people that just defend this or don't understand it, no offense, but man, I question your intelligence. If you can't see the difference between the guy out at second base stealing a sign and using electronics to pass along in real time, hey, here's what's coming. It's alleged that the Astros were wearing buzzers. And when A.J. Hinch was asked about it the other day, his answer was not convincing.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you, Chase, did you kill so-and-so?
No.
Your answer is not going to be, well, the jury says I didn't.
Yeah.
Your answer is going to be, hell no. I did not commit that crime.
Yeah.
A.J. Hinch's answer was, well, they did a thorough investigation. He never said, no, we didn't wear buzzers. You know why? Because they wore buzzers.
Yeah. Sure, as more things come out, we'll continue to talk about it. In the meantime, I'll tell you about Mastercut's Lawn and Landscape, premium lawn care throughout northern Mississippi. More including custom playgrounds, retaining walls, pool decks, outdoor living spaces, wallpaper patios, forestry mulching, and much more. The patch your dream backyard easier than you think. It's GoMastercuts.com or 662-607-7773. Again, GoMastercuts.com.
Podcast also brought to you in part by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about a trip this summer coming up, maybe you want to go to Florida, you want to go on a cruise. I can't imagine wanting to go on a cruise right now with some of the stuff that's out there, but maybe you do. And maybe you want to go to the Caribbean, maybe you want to go to Scotland, Ireland, Europe, whatever the case may be. Get in touch with John. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. What you do is you give him a call, you give him an email, you give him some parameters, you give him a budget, and then you just sit back. Quit worrying about it. He will come up with options for you, and no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan is the place to go. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one. Tell Gene and Sandy that you heard about Grenada Nissan on the podcast. You'll get Rebel savings on top of the already great deals at Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. We're also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with a personal touch. And when you call OUB, you speak directly with a live person. There's no 10 buttons, no 5-minute wait. What they also have is a commercial checking account, now paying 1% interest as long as you keep $10,000 in the account. Comes with fully interactive online banking. To learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we're brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group. They're dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. The firm is built on decades of wealth management experience. Their financial advisors have a reputation for professional excellence, and their clients rely on their high level of confidence and integrity. So whether you need guidance on developing a financial plan, creating a customized executive benefits program for your business, or preparing a detailed asset allocation analysis, Bluff City Advisory will provide forward-thinking, cost-effective investment strategies customized to uniquely fit each client. 901-365-3447 or email Ben, it's B-E-N, at bluffcityadvisory.com. And we're brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes, and you can get in touch with her at 662-567-2573 or by calling Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, 662-842-3844.
Just a little sign. I mean, he's got to win, obviously, but a little sign of what Ole Miss gets with Lane Kiffin. ESPN this morning, Alex Scarborough does college football's most intriguing 2020 games, and Ole Miss in two of them is Lane Kiffin will match up against Mike Leach and Nick Saban this season. The Alabama and the state games both on the list.
Yeah, I would put the Baylor game on the list.
Think so?
Yeah.
Michigan at Washington's on the list. North Dakota State at Oregon. It's kind of an interesting one, but okay. Texas at LSU. Auburn at North Carolina, or Auburn against North Carolina. Georgia, Alabama. Florida State, Boise. Oklahoma, Army. Alabama, Ole Miss. A&M, Auburn. Alabama, LSU. Clemson, Notre Dame. Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's kind of a drab list. Not much there that just.
I mean, most seasons are sort
interest.
of the same. I will say this. I mean, just the Kiffin presence alone and the Leach presence alone makes Ole Miss and Mississippi State far more appealing to eyeballs than they've been the last few years.
The A&M Auburn game is kind of interesting because it's which one of those is kind of joining up there. Can A&M finally make the jump, or is this
if you buy either one of them?
A&M is? Yes, I'm saying.
I'm not convinced I buy either one.
I mean, it's the first time I've kind of thought maybe A&M's just what A&M is, no matter who the coach is.
Auburn loses a lot off that defense, man. And that defense was really good.
Oh, part of the draw for Oklahoma Army is Oklahoma is visiting Army. They're actually going to West Point.
To West Point.
Yeah,
that's kind of
cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll play there. Yeah, it says, how often do we see legacy programs on the road to play a service academy? Most schools avoid Army and its triple option offense at all costs, but the Sooners are making the risky, albeit scenic, trip to West Point, New York early in the season and with a young quarterback in tow.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler, the new new quarterback at Oklahoma. So, yeah, fine.
That's kind of cool.
Whatever.
They're going up there. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Be a big day up there.
Oh. Huge.
Have you followed this cruise story at all?
A little bit. I read a New York Times story yesterday about how while the tenants are isolated, the staff and all those people it's starting to really kind of spread through. I mean, obviously, I could come up in my mind with, oh my God, this would be worse. But as far as like tangible things that could actually happen to you, this might be the worst travel experience in the history of the world. Like no Titanic jokes or anything. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Just the prolonged of it too.
In prison.
Oh, they bring you get a couple minutes on the deck to walk. Frankly, I'd be terrified to do that. And they bring all your meals to your cabin and you just sit there. And you can't be within like 6 feet of another human just in case.
Except for the people in your group.
It was not specified.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whew. I've never been a cruise person. I've never been on one, and it does not interest me at all.
No, I would like land, please. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just the excursions, all the way around. Land.
Yeah, I don't like being like I don't even like a long flight really, where you're stuck in something for a period of time.
I don't know that I've ever taken a flight longer than probably 3.5 hours or so. 4 hours.
Longest one I ever took was.
I've never been to Hawaii. I haven't flown to Europe.
I flew San Francisco to Tampa.
That's about as far as you can go.
Pretty good haul.
I flew. Memphis to L.A. maybe is the longest thing I've done. I guess. I've been Memphis to Denver. I've been but.
Yeah, San Francisco to Tampa is my longest flight.
Well, that's pretty substantial. So.
A day, 2 days after running a marathon. It was not fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I meant to look at this a minute ago. Odd Shark, the line now is 1, State -1, Ole Miss +1. The over-under 138.5, so almost 70 apiece, something like that.
What's the money line on that deal?
Very much of nothing. Ole Miss +103, State -113.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very even odds on a money line. Nothing crazy.
So Vegas thinks this thing's a coin flip.
Yeah, it does. Yes, they have it as a coin flip. At least they have that people believe it to be a coin flip. because that's what Vegas is trying to do. They're just trying to get equal money. So it's what people think
Yeah.
is what they are trying to
I think it's a coin toss. I think it's. I mean, if you made me pick somebody just based on home court and momentum, I probably would pick Ole Miss, but not by much.
Ole Miss 7-3 against the spread against State in the last 10.
Yeah. Doesn't mean much.
Average a 77-73 win over the last 10 games.
Last year, Ole Miss beat State in Starkville, lost to State in Oxford.
Yeah.
Played really, really well in Starkville, and then played pretty good against State in Oxford, but State was very good that night, especially in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Williams says the longest trip he's taken, Houston to Honolulu, 8 hours. Whew. My youngest brother flies to Europe sometimes. I've never done that either. It's got to be probably 8-9 hours, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to travel anywhere right now. I'd be scared to be on an airplane right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like out of the thing.
Like Carson and I were talking about, seriously, we take our boys' trip each summer, and we'd been talking about going to New York or going to Seattle or doing something kind of different. And I was like, hey, let's do something where we drive. I don't want to fly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to get on a plane right now.
I'm fine flying domestic. I mean, I'm not going to Japan or China today.
But you don't know who else been on that plane.
Yeah, I guess.
Air starts circulating.
Probably to the point of I should be worse. I'm just that kind of stuff. I don't have a trigger that makes me fearful with that kind of stuff at all. What?
Sammy in the thread. Urban myth states if you dump out all of your corona, you can't contract coronavirus.
San Francisco to Seoul, 13 hours.
Ooh, Minneapolis to Tokyo, 13 hours.
Yeah.
13 hours in a plane.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to not sleep, be tired, and then take something to knock you out where you slept like 7 or 8 of those hours.
The bigger key in that is actually traveling at the correct times. So when you get there, you can either be on a set schedule already and you're not off another day when you get there because you're trying to wait on nighttime again.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Travel time as important as anything.
Where you land where it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, probably. That's my guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, something along those lines. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I have today. We will be back tomorrow. We'll have some baseball stuff today. Today is media day for Ole Miss baseball locally. Basketball tonight against Mississippi State, 6 o'clock at the Pavilion. So if you're going, be safe, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.